6'7" from North Carolina, number 17, Rick Fox. At forward, 6'10" from Alabama, number 5, Robert Ory. At center, 7'1" from Louisiana State, number 34, Shaquille O'Neal. At guard, 6'7", from Lower Merion High School, number 8, Kobe Bryant. At guard, 6'1", from Arkansas Little Rock, number 2, Derek Fisher. The head coach of the Lakers is Phil Jackson. From Arizona, number 10, Mike Bibby. At center, 7'1" from Serbia, number 21, Vlade Divac. At forward, 6'8" from Turkey, number 5, Hedo Turkoglu. At forward, 6'10", from Michigan, number 4, the head coach of the Kings is Rick.
Now comes real playoff pressure for the Sacramento Kings. Down a game to the world champions. It's game 2 next on TNT. During the regular season here at Arco, it's struggling against the Lakers. Our officials tonight, A&F Rush, Bernie Fryer, and Joe DeRosa. And here we go. Game 2 Western Conference Finals. It's Turkoglu, 0 of 8 in Game 1. Doug Christie picked up by the struggling Kobe Bryant, at least health-wise. We'll see if it affects his game. And Vlade Divac knocks in the game's first shot.
Well, that's what he has to do because Shaq didn't even bother to come out at all on him. If he's missing those shots, they have a problem. Whoever Shaq is guarding on that switch, he's got to be able to hit that shot.
The Kings have their first lead of the series. They trailed the entire Game 1. It's Shaquille O'Neal. Vlade Divac's on him. Shot clock is down to 7. Some help from Bibby. O'Neal. And a rebound by Turkoglu.
You know, Vlade has got in Shaq's head a little bit. He's worried about the flops. He's not playing his power game. He's kind of settling for that turnaround jump shot.
High pass by Christie inside. Bobbled by Divac off the Lakers. Shot clock at 14.
Well, Vlade mixed it up. The last time he took the shot, that time he penetrated. I've got to believe when he's penetrating, he's hunting for a foul from Shaquille O'Neal, and particularly early in the game, that's good strategy.
Chris Webber, who had 28 in Game 1. Offensive rebound by Vlade Divac. Draws a crowd. Across the lane. An Ory rebound.
You know, that's the bad thing about hunting for fouls. When you do have an open shot, you're peeping for Shaq as opposed to looking at the basket.
It's O'Neal to Ory, the switch on defense. Now Divac is on Ory, and the shot clock showing 9. For Robert Ory, who, Danny, was sensational in Game 1, 42 minutes and 18 points.
Well, Robert Ory is a very smart player. He's an opportunist, and right there, whenever he gets Divac or Webber, he knows he's got a big advantage from the perimeter. They do not like to come out and guard him, and he's going to have shots all over the place tonight.
Maybe trying to sneak it in. Here comes Fox. It's a 3-on-1. Kobe Bryant hang planning for 2.
So much for food poisoning.
The other way, Divac's alley-oop try for Webber. Errant pass. Here comes Bryant. Weaving through traffic over Christie, and a rebound by Turkoglu.
Good defense right there by Christie, contesting the shot. But I like to see Shaq kind of dominate from the beginning.
John Christie. And he buries a three-point shot. And the Kings lead by 1.
And you can see how much this crowd loves that kind of basketball. Get the defensive rebound, run the court, and hit the open threes.
Lakers have started 2 of 5 as O'Neal finds his first basket.
Well, they're playing behind Shaq with very limited help from teammates. I've got to believe that Shaq is going to have a big night scoring if they continue to guard him that way.
It's Divac crunching inside and a foul called. Horry was there to meet him. And Robert Horry and O'Neal with the defense. Shaq picks up his first foul.
Good pass by Fox in transition right there. Turkoglu back there defending both guys. No way to stop him. And Robert Horry, he knows he can get a shot on these two guys. Look at Vlade. Not very much of a defensive stance right there, but a center guarding a perimeter player. Big advantage, Horry.
John, here's Divac at the free throw line. Regular season, John 61% from the stripe. In the playoffs, a sizzling 83% from the free throw line.
And what is very important for Vlade is to get to the line, and particularly when he's playing against Shaq. He's got to get there. But earlier in the game, the better, because you want Shaq to become very tentative about picking up fouls.
And right there, Shaq picked up a foul. Just standing under the basket. Vlade took it right to him and just initiated all the contact and got the call. Shaq again on offense. He's settling for turnarounds. He's not trying to power his way to the basket.
Weber came across the nose of Fox, who is down. A foul called on Chris Webber for the first time.
Right here, Fox using his lower body to get there. Weber trying to hold him off. Gets him right across the face. Doesn't like the call. But obviously, good, easy call to make right in front of the officials. You got to do a better job of disguising those weak side arms. They use the elbow to protect it.
Rick Fox scoops one home.
You got to have a little better lateral movement than that if you're Chris, too, because he just walked by him.
Well, you know, Chris Webber was so bad on defense in the first quarter of game 1. You know, yes, he's out defending a perimeter player Robert Horry, but he's got to, like, on that situation right there, just pretend like you're playing defense.
Turkoglu is in a double. Weber is on top. Kings have started 2 of 4. And corkscrewing down the lane, Weber knocked away. 8 seconds on the shot clock. It's out of bounds and off the Lakers.
And we documented it in the open, and here again is another situation. Yeah, he's got a quicker Fox, but I mean, that's just way too easy. Where's the weak side help? Well, Vlade's so in touch with Shaq, keeping him from the lobs, and that there's not going to be any weak side help. So you got to make Fox make the outside shot instead of getting those drives.
Rebounding even at 3. Shaq inside with a nice feed from underneath. Fox was hemmed in.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, when Shaq's man comes over to help, he's such a big target.
Here's pass by Bibby. Chris Webber dunks it in, and he's got his first 2 tonight.
No, and the good thing about that is Chris pinned the guy that was low while Shaq was caught high on Vlade. And Chris was able to take advantage of his man.
Kobe Bryant over the 7-1 Divac.
And what a spectacular shot. I mean, that didn't look, but he shot that extra high and even got his arms up higher than he normally does. But he just invented that shot as he elevated.
Screen by Divac, and Bibby's got room to fire. Robert Horry with the rebound. Lakers have led by as many as 3. The Kings have had a 2-point lead.
I think they need Bibby to continue to be aggressive. He's 7 for 21, had a great start in game 1. He's going to get those medium-range jump shots off the pick and rolls. He's got to make a good percentage of them.
Shot clock at 6 for Kobe Bryant. Into Shaq, who's got 4 over Divac. Horry taps it and volleyballs it out of bounds.
They got to do a better job of containing. Rick Fox, not a great shooter. He needs time in there. 2 guys take him up. Where is the help coming down on Shaq? The guards have got to collapse and give Vlade help when he gives the guards help.
It's Weber in a straight jacket inside, but somehow Johnny squeezes it up, and he's got 4.
Well, what they're doing is attacking Horry. They're putting Vlade either at the high post or away from Weber, and Weber has an opportunity to go to the basket.
Horry spoon feeds O'Neal. He has started 3 of 5 and 6 points to lead all scorers.
Well, Weber has a big advantage on Horry, taking him down low with his strength. But Horry has an advantage on the perimeter. Right there, he knew Horry has a foul. The best way to stop a guy from beating you up on the low post like Weber's doing to Horry is try to get that second foul on him.
Turkoglu just missed his first shot of the game.
Well, I like the shot Turkoglu got, though. It's a good shot. He's going to make those if he gets those qualities. 0 for 8 in game 1. I really only thought he had about 2 or 3 quality looks at the basket.
Here comes Fox. Trying to take it inside. Look at Kobe Bryant, John, like a pinball inside the lane, bouncing off of one body, then another, and they called it jump ball.
Well, and I thought that was one of the problems last time. They beat them, the Lakers beat them to very loose balls most of the time. When you're looking at this, Webber's got Ori down low. You don't see Shaq in the picture. Webber makes his fake, and he has the freedom to move around in there. When Shaq is in the middle, or when Vlade is low, Shaq is able to help, but Vlade's taking him out of the way of the play.
John, Shaq says that his role, he thinks, has been changing from one championship to the next, and even to this year. They needed him a lot 2 years ago. This year, not as much.
Well, and I think when you do things is very significant, Kevin. Kobe's role has stepped up, and he does things in waste of time and also.
Ball knocked out of bounds. The Kings will inbound.
Well, I think going back to Shaq and his role, I think his role is just diminishes because of his health. If Shaq were the same Shaq of last year or the year before, he would still be the dominant force on this team.
He's got the arthritic right toe, 2 sore ankles, a cut finger, Vlade Divac from outside. Shaq didn't even go out to defend him.
Well, and he hasn't been doing that. He didn't do the same thing when Bibby was out there. He's making whoever gets caught up in that switch off of that pick and roll make the shot.
And that'll be thrown away. That is the second turnover for the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. And the Kings have 2 as well. Look at Phil Jackson with 149 postseason wins.
Well, uncharacteristically in Game 1, they gave up 27 points off turnovers to the Lakers. That is not like Phil Jackson basketball.
And Bibby was defending Kobe Bryant. Vlade Divac is trying to defend inside. Bibby picks up his first foul.
Well, I didn't think that deserved a technical right there. He was angry, but he got hammered going to the basket the time before. Right here he comes in and gets all ball right there on Kobe. No wonder he's frustrated.
So Bibby picks up the technical foul, and we've got a timeout. Game 2, Western Conference Finals.
So during that timeout, trainer Gary Vitti had to rewrap his left arm. He also asked Kobe how he felt. He said, "I feel very weak, a little dizzy, but I'll continue to play." Kevin?
All right, Craig. Kobe Bryant is out there with Rick Fox, Shaquille O'Neal, Robert Horry, Derek Fisher. That is the starting 5 remaining in the game for the Los Angeles Lakers. And for the Sacramento Kings, Webber, Bibby, Divac, Turkoglu, and Christie. This is a technical free throw by Kobe Bryant. The tee was called on Mike Bibby just before we went to break.
You know, I believe Kobe is a little weak, but I've never seen it fail. That any time a good scorer makes a basket, it heals him.
Horry to Fox. Shot clock is at 8. Against Turkoglu, Fox tried to penetrate, knocked out of bounds, shot clock at 7.
And Turkoglu learned that defense right there from Vlade, that reach around, poke from behind. He's done a good job of that. Did a good job of frustrating Nowitzki in the last series.
5:49 to play here in the first quarter. It's Horry outside, and a 3 by Derek Fisher. And that is the first 3-point hit tonight by the Lakers. The Kings have also gone 1 of 1. Every Lakers starter has scored tonight.
And he hit that shot with good pressure on the ball from Bibby, too.
Here comes Mike Bibby. Out to Christie. Another 3. Good. His second 3-point hit tonight.
And great play by Mike Bibby right there, keeping his poise. He got fouled twice on that play, but just stayed in the play and found Christie open on the perimeter.
Horry finds Fox. Turkoglu finds Fox defensively. Here's Fisher. Bryant. And Shaquille O'Neal, who's got 6 points. Leading inside. Shaq has 8.
Well, that was a beautiful move. He went up, he dipped under. For a guy with a bad toe, that's a pretty good move, isn't it?
You know, and you can tell how important this game is to Shaq because he's come out right from the get-go playing with a little bit more intensity than he did in Game 1, realizing that his team might need it tonight.
Webber with the miss. Horry with the rebound. Robert Horry's collected 2 boards so far. Approaching 4.5 to play in the first. It's Shaquille O'Neal again, shooting a lot early on. And a rebound by Divac.
I think he bailed Webber out right there. He had Webber. Webber doesn't want to guard him and pick up a second foul. Take him down low. I know that that's the triangle offense, but you got to start backing Webber down. He bailed him out by shooting the jumper.
Well, one of the things the Lakers are inviting him to take that outside shot. They seem to be clogging the middle from the weak side and really not putting a lot of pressure on the guy that's shooting outside.
Fox over Turkoglu into Shaquille O'Neal. Shot clock at 8.
Well, this is almost one-on-one coverage. Very seldom you ever see that for Shaq.
Michigan across the lane. Webber with the rebound. That's his first tonight. Doug Christie has knocked down 2 threes. Whips it inside to Turkoglu. Here comes Divac. Once, twice, a third time. Fisher with the rebound.
That took all the energy Vlade had. He can't get back to the defensive end now.
He's 34.
And he's guarding Robert Horry right now, and that's a torture chamber.
And Fox launching a three. It's an O'Neal rebound. Snaps it outside. Another three. Fox. Picked up by Fisher. One offensive Laker rebound after another.
Well, and that's what happened in the first game. They're beating them to everything that's loose. There's no reason for the Kings to let that happen. They're beating them in transition. They're beating them for loose balls.
Horry for three. Christie's got the rebound.
And even when they get the rebound, if you look at this, they're not getting fast break baskets. And this is the Kings game. Transition baskets, getting out, getting good early shots.
A shifty pass by Divac inside. It's a Laker foul, and it goes against Kobe Bryant for the first time.
Well, Robert Horry goes right by Weber right there. Weber gets a stiff arm in his back, but right there he lost control of the ball and continued the pass. Big shot by Fisher, well contested by Bibby. But again, all by the penetration from Robert Horry on the perimeter. That's a mismatch with Weber defending him on the perimeter that they feel like they can exploit.
Doug Christie, who did not take a free throw shot in game one, will be at the line. So take a look at Shaquille O'Neal. He's checked in 4 of 8 from the field. He's got 8 points. They were the Minneapolis Lakers in 1960. They moved to Los Angeles, and since that time, the Lakers are 31-1 with a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 series. That is almost incomprehensible, but there it is in front of you, and that's why the Kings must win tonight. Doug Christie is at the free throw line. The Kings are 3 of 3 tonight. Lakers so far 1 of 1. Kevin Harlan with Hall of Fame coach John Thompson, NBA All-Star Danny Ainge, and award-winning reporter Craig Sager. 8 points in the game now for Doug Christie.
Well, the only thing about this Laker team is they'll always let you back in a game, and they'll always let you back in a series. They just don't have that killer instinct. With the exception of their domination of San Antonio last year in the playoffs, I haven't seen them just go for the juggler.
Kobe Bryant with great ball rotation from on top, and Kobe's got 7. John, that'll make you feel better.
I think he will, particularly anytime you score him. But Kobe works at both ends. And if you look at his eyes, he definitely looks like he's a little weak. But I tell you what, he's still competitive to most people the way he is now.
Here's a Turkoglu shot. He's 0-2. Sacramento is shooting 34%. The Lakers are shooting 50%. Fox into the double-team O'Neal. Somehow gets the pass out of the block, but it's picked off by Weber, who is held by Fox. And a foul called on Rick Fox. The first on him. And now Weber and Fox have some work.
But Chris can't afford this. I mean, he cannot afford to let himself get caught in this kind of situation.
And a double technical, John, because of it.
You just can't get caught up in that. You're a superstar. Who cares what Rick Fox says to you? You know, why do you have to walk back and challenge him? You know how the officials call this game. Just keep walking. Words can't hurt you.
Let's watch it again and see if we can pick up after O'Neal coughed it out of the lane.
Well, good play. They get tangled up right here. He just wants to stop the fast break. But Weber walked away. Fox said something to Weber as he walked away, and Weber walked back and confronted him. And you know that always happens. Double technical.
He shouldn't have gotten involved in it, but I think Fox did a little bit more to say things to him. He grabbed him a little bit.
Right, but he walked away from it and nothing was going on.
He loves it.
See, but that's exactly right. The difference is Fox is doing that for a purpose, and Chris is letting himself get upset. He needs to get into this and play.
Here come the Sacramento Kings. They've missed the last 6 shots from the floor. Turkoglu, same starting 5 in there for both teams. No substitutions. Chris Weber has gone 3 of 6. He's got 6 points.
What's amazing is that the Lakers aren't even contesting those little medium-range jump shots that the Kings are taking.
Lakers have led by as many as 5. The Kings have led by as many as 2. Instead of 2 to play now in the first quarter as Kobe will begin to dance on Christie. And a pickup by Divac.
You know, everybody in the league knows that the Lakers are vulnerable, particularly pick and rolls, and vulnerable with big guys knocking medium-range jump shots. Chris Webber gets criticized a lot for not going inside, but that's a shot he can make, and that's the shot that is least contested.
Fisher just picked up the foul. Fisher picks up his first, and we have our first substitution of the game. Shaquille O'Neal will check out. Samaki Walker will check in. 1:41 to play in the first quarter.
And Shaq went out in game 1. They picked up points each time he went out, so it's an important time to pick it up.
And a foul on the Lakers inside as D-Box was trying to go across the lane. Newly instated Samaki Walker, an ex-Maverick and former San Antonio Spur, gets his first. Shaq with breather on the bench. Johnny puts in 8 points in 9 minutes.
You know, what amazes me is how these players just smile when they make a mistake. Oh, I fouled you.
Did you and Russ used to smile in Boston?
Well, I know I didn't smile because I wasn't playing, and he doggone sure never smiled.
And there's no smile on the face of Peja Stojakovic, a first-time All-Star. A high ankle sprain, out at least for tonight, and maybe Danny into Game 3 in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He still has some swelling. He ran on the treadmill today, but you know, I don't really blame him for not coming back. When he was playing over in Greece, he had a stress fracture in his foot, and everybody said it was okay, and he went and shattered it and had to have a rod put in his leg. So ever since that, he's a little bit unsure about coming back from injuries.
We've got a tie. Fisher feeds Walker. And a turnover right there. Doug Christie the other way. Galloping. It's Turkoglu against Fox. Into Weber. And that is a foul on Chris Weber. Second on him. And he is the only player in the game right now with 2 personal fouls.
One of the things I think the Kings missed with Peja, when they ran that fast break, they had 2 right lanes. They had nobody running the left lane that time. They had no balance on their break.
Well, Walker had an easy opportunity because Weber was not going to foul him going to the basket right there. But Weber gets an offensive foul. And he had 4 offensive fouls in one game against Dallas. Had 2 last game offensive fouls. So he's very tentative going to the rim. And every time he gets an offensive foul, he does not think it's a foul. And he gets very frustrated.
Bobby Jackson is checked in for Weber. We're down to about 1:05 to play in this first quarter as Fox works on the smaller Jackson. Grinding his way in against the glass.
Well, that's why the Lakers are so good. Immediately, they identified a mismatch, isolated Jackson, and went to him to get the basket from Fox.
Turnovers even at 4. Here comes Fox. Again, meets the defense of Jackson. On top to Ori. And out to Samaki Walker. Robert Ori sneaks in another rebound.
Great hands by Robert Ori. Lost control of it, but somehow came up with it while he was in midair.
Look at Kobe flying down the lane and find 2.
Well, Kobe's played the whole first quarter right here. He's kind of paced himself. He doesn't have to put a lot of energy forth when he's guarding Doug Christie on the other end. Bobby Jackson, a little bit more energized, might make him work a little harder.
Well, I think it's inexcusable the way the Kings, if you're trying to dethrone a champion, you've got to put more energy into getting loose balls.
Mike Bibby knocks in a 3. It's a 1-point game with 16 seconds to play in the first quarter. The Kings do have a foul to give. Good if it goes. And that takes us to the end of the first quarter. Well, Kobe Bryant survived round 1 in game 2. Robert Ori gathered in 7 rebounds in that first quarter. He has become indispensable for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers. And what about Kobe Bryant? Battling food poisoning. Unfortunately for Sacramento, but for Kobe, it's pinker poison. With great moves inside and out. Most in the history of all professional sports on the road in the playoffs.
It's unbelievable. 12 consecutive road games. I mean, 12 consecutive games is one thing, but 12 consecutive road games in the playoffs. Yeah, as we saw, 3 more than any other team in history and 4 more than any other NBA team in history.
It's incredible. We're back here in Sacramento. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager. Lakers have Lindsey Hunter in the game for the first time, joining Robert Ori, Derek Fisher, Samaki Walker, and Kevin George in for the first time as well.
Well, the Kings put that full-court pressure that time, but they didn't pressure Ori. Weber didn't come out to get him, so it's no sense in pressuring the 2 guards if he's a pressure release.
Scott Pollard knocked it away. Here comes Bibby. Racing against the defense and down to the other end with a foul called on Los Angeles.
Good play by Bibby. You can see it. Things don't seem to run quite as smooth without Shaq or Kobe. At least one of them on the court. This is a big moment right here. We just saw that grab. Look at this drive right here. Good job of drawing the contact. Ori tries to hold him up, but Bibby, excellent job making sure he gets the foul called that time. But you just saw Phil Jackson, 22 consecutive playoff series.
Well, and the thing that I think has to happen with the Kings is they still need Peja, I feel, to fill the lanes, because every time they come down, they don't have the third lane on the break. So it's easy for the defense to defend against them. That's why Bibby had to plow his way through.
Let's see the Kings lineup for you right now with Bibby and Jackson. And up front, they got Christie, Pollard, and Chris Webber. Divac on the bench. Here comes Robert Horry. Just picked up his first foul. Devin George. Division III school outside Minneapolis pops it up. It's the 6th Los Angeles turnover. Webber flips it back to Bibby. Picked up by Hunter. On top Pollard. Over to Christie. Into Pollard and through his hands.
The ball was deflected just a little bit. Made it tough for Pollard to catch it.
Lindsey Hunter. Rebound. Robert Horry, his 8th of the game. Fisher for 3. Pollard with the rebound.
When the Lakers are killing them again on the offensive board, you can't let them keep getting second shots.
And they've got Webber at the other end, who's got 8 points.
Well, he's at the other end because he never came back to defense, Kevin.
And a timeout for Los Angeles.
That I'm impressed with is he's giving efforts at both ends. I'm a little sick of seeing people get defensive injuries and then on offense they play well, but Kobe is showing energy at both ends of the court, and that's impressive.
Shaquille O'Neal is back in the game. Sacramento is on a 6-0 run the last minute and a half. So Shaq is up on the floor, flips it inside to George, picked up by Walker. Shot clock is at 10. Against Webber, Samaki Walker. And Webber got a hand on it. And it's a 2-on-1. Bibby and Jackson. Jackson to Bibby. Oh, knocked away by Lindsey Hunter. And a foul called on the Los Angeles Laker guard. It's the first on Hunter.
Well, I'm excited right here for Sacramento because they finally found someone right here that Chris Webber can guard. Samaki Walker got a little dizzy doing so many pump fakes in there.
Well, and the thing that does, once they play strong defense like that, it gives them an opportunity to run their break. The last game, they didn't have many break opportunities simply because the Lakers scored or they didn't defend them well.
Do you get the feeling Danny has no respect for Webber's defense, Joe?
Oh, he's sick. I don't pay attention to that.
Well, I tell you one thing.
He said you thought the Kings substituted for the Lakers the way that.
Well, you know, Robert Horry just goes to show you what a difference he makes. They've been struggling in the first quarter throughout the playoffs, and they insert him in this series. And all of a sudden, he has to be defended. He's a great interior passer, one of the smartest players in the league, and he makes Webber go out on the perimeter and defend him.
Kings have their biggest lead of the game. Nice defense. That's batted away by Devin George.
I mean, I want to give Chris Webber defense. That is 2 consecutive excellent defensive plays. But what is Samaki Walker doing? Doesn't he watch the game? Take him out on the floor. The guy can't move his feet on the perimeter.
And that's what I said. The difference in that is the fact that Webber is playing post defense now.
Bobby Jackson.
What about this guy, Bobby Jackson? He is unbelievable. The guy's got so much heart.
Sacramento has their biggest lead tonight. Samaki Walker to Shaquille O'Neal. Into Jackson by Pollard. And he's got 10.
Well, and another good move. But Walker must have heard Danny that time because he started that move from the outside and got by Webber. But still, it was a great play made by Shaq.
Wow, look at the tussle right there between North Carolinian Bobby Jackson and Lindsey Hunter.
I guess we got to keep showing these excellent defenses by Webber since we picked on his defense. But good job. But Samaki Walker, come on. You got Shaq in the game. Get the ball to Shaq right here. Here, 3 guys come to him. Does a good job. And Shaq, excellent job finishing. Bobby Jackson trying to help, but Shaq too strong.
Both teams are shooting 43% from the field. And on the jump, the Kings control. It's Bibby. Webber with the screen. Walker lunges in and a whistle. That's on Lindsey Hunter for the second time.
And Lindsey Hunter provides a lot of energy out there. Him and Bobby Jackson, 2 guys that are hyper type of players, play with a lot of heart and intensity.
Here comes Webber.
Well, and again, Shaq's man is at the high post to take him out of the way so Webber can capitalize on posting Walker. But I liked what Bibby did the last possession by penetrating, forcing the help to come, and then that's going to leave even the inside man out on the opposite wing.
Kobe Bryant back in the game. Hunter into Shaq. Bulldozing into Pollard. The ball knocked away by Jackson. Shot clock at 5 and a foul. The defense of those two guards right there. Jackson
and that was the difference, Kevin, in this possession. Because if you look at this, Jackson swarms back in the middle and attacks the dribble. The Kings have not been doing that. They've been leaving Shaq to go one-on-one. And when he does that, it's absolute suicide.
And one reason why I think they are swarming is because they have Hunter, Samaki Walker, and Devin George out there. Not the three excellent veteran experience.
Walker puts it in. He did not score in game 1 in 10 minutes, and he's got his first two right there. Under 9 to play in the second quarter. Jackson slithering his way down the lane. Jackson's got 5 points in 4 minutes.
And Jackson has been their best offensive player. 21 points in 25 minutes in game 1. And right there, knocking down outside shots and taking Kobe off the dribble.
It's Shaq inside. He's got 12. Hard-earned inside. Pollard the foul.
Well, Jackson just looked over here and shook his head because Shaquille that time was very smart. Rather than turn towards the middle where the help would come, he turned baseline. Pollard is absolutely helpless. You look at him right here. I mean, he's holding his hand up. Shaquille just goes baseline side and goes up and makes a layup.
John Pollard said in the press yesterday, trying to move Shaq is like trying to tip a cow. You can't.
I have never tried to tip a cow, but I would agree with him. I guess he has.
Well, he played at Kansas, and so cow tipping was a big deal there. And here comes Jackson over Bryant. O'Neal the rebound.
And I think Shaq feels a little bit more comfortable playing against Pollard. Pollard is more of a banger than Vlade, much more intense and physically can feel his body. Vlade is a little bit more off of Shaq, doesn't bang him as much, and Shaq's worried about the flopping, so he's not quite as aggressive.
And it's always easier for a postman when he doesn't have to look for the guy because the guy is touching him.
Kobe Bryant hunting inside for an open player. Bryant tonight has played 14 minutes, has 9 points. And 3 rebounds, 5 seconds on the shot clock, and 7:55 to play in the first half.
And Mike Bibby and Doug Christie have gone the whole way. Can't afford to take them out.
O'Neal again over Pollard. Not much of a match.
Well, it's suicide. I mean, you guard him at one-on-one like that. He did a good job of positioning himself so the help couldn't come. Just jumped up and put the ball in the basket.
Shaq with the game high 15, only player in the game in double figures. Here comes Weber, and he's got 8. A screen and a feed. Bobby Jackson, a 3.
But Bobby has a lot of stomach out here. I mean, he creates a lot of action, penetrating. He's hitting his outside shots. He's defending, jumping on the floor. He's acting as if he's trying to dethrone the champion.
And a travel by Shaq. They call a foul on O'Neal, and he now has 2. Not a travel, but a foul.
Well, Shaq has the ball right here. That's not a foul.
It's a travel, isn't it?
That's not either one. That's a post-up. The amount of abuse that guy takes, yeah, he dishes out his son. He's a tough son of a gun in there, but that is unbelievable right there. You got to earn the fouls.
Walker's out. Fox back in with George, O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Lindsey Hunter, the Laker 5. Pollard to Bibby. A good fake. Hunter bites, and Bibby remains.
We've talked about it throughout the first 2 series. What a find this guy is. What an upgrade. But Bobby Jackson, this 2-guard tandem, Bobby Jackson can play the 1 or the 2. And what a huge acquisition Bobby Jackson has been for Sacramento.
Bobby Jackson has picked up his first personal foul for Coach Rick Adelman.
Well, I don't understand this either. Bobby Jackson's just trying to guard Kobe. You can't just let him walk down the post and post up where he wants. That's good defense right there.
Rick Fox with the runner over Turkoglu back in the game. Shaquille O'Neal throwing down the sledgehammer.
Well, and you can't let him get your pin that close under the basket. If he's on the weak side, you got to go to him and forget about the help to keep him out there.
Mike Bibby has hit 2 very tough shots. He's got 10. And he leads the Kings, who have led by as many as 7. The Lakers have led by as many as 5.
10 points and 5 assists for Mike Bibby right now. Only 1 turnover to this point. Taking good care of the ball, making good decisions, and he's got to continue. He got off to a good start in game 1. He's got to keep up that shooting.
One-on-one coverage, you can count it.
Shaq with 19 points. Complete domination inside.
There's no one man that's going to guard him. If you don't use the team defense to guard him, you're not going to let him get that kind of low position.
And a Rick Fox foul. Away from the ball and down low is second of the game. So Fox has 2, Shaq has 2, and Lindsey Hunter has 2. That's the foul issues for the Lakers, and only Chris Webber with 2 for Sacramento.
You know, with all these new post-up rules and things you can do and all the offensive fouls called on the post-up players and the fronting of the post, you know, you wonder why, guys, we criticize Chris Webber for not posting up anymore. Other than Shaq, who's so much bigger than everybody else in basketball, who really is a true post-up player in the NBA today?
Chris Webber should be against Fox, though, because he has a height advantage on him.
Shaquille O'Neal is steamrolling anything the Sacramento Kings can throw at him. Right here with the stuff. Shaq has got 19 points with complete domination inside. It's game 2, Western Conference Finals, and the Lakers up 1-0.
300 pounds of a heavenly joy. I'm so glad that you understand. You got 300 pounds of a muscling man. This is it. This is it. Look what you get.
300-plus pounds of heavenly joy. That's exactly what Shaq has scored the last 9 Los Angeles points. Johnny has scored 11 of LA's 13 second quarter points.
Well, it's very interesting the strategy the Kings are using. They're minimizing the help, trying to cut down the other Lakers. But Shaq, that's going to leave him open because regardless of who he goes up against, if it's not some form of help and you play behind him and allow him to get a low post position, he's going to be able to dominate in that.
So Chris Webber sets to take his first free throw attempt in this series. That's about 60 minutes of playing time for Chris Webber, who's got 8 points tonight, 4 of 9 from the floor. About 6 minutes to play in the second quarter as we send it over to Craig Sagan.
Well, during that timeout, Shaquille O'Neal looked at his teammates and said, "Give me the ball, I'll foul all of them out." He was referring, of course, to the Lakers being in foul trouble with Rick Fox picking up his 3rd. So he sees the same domination under there that Coach Thompson sees.
That's right. Webber fanning on the second free throw. Now the Kings are 9 of 12 at the free throw line. Whistle inside on Turkoglu. That's the first on him. And Turkoglu tonight, who played 29 minutes in game 1, was 0 of 8 and started tonight in 13 minutes, 0 of 2.
I still like the shots that Turco's getting. I mean, the guy is a good basketball player. He's struggling with his outside shot right now, but he's not getting a lot of touches and good looks because of the excellent defense of Rick Fox.
Lakers with Horry, Bryant, Fisher, O'Neal, and Devin George remains. Jackson is on Kobe Bryant, 9 to shoot. Across the lane, flips it on top, caught by Fisher. He'll joust with Bibby outside George, 3 to fire, a 3, and a rebound gobbled up by Shaq, who has no regard for human life inside.
No regard for the rim.
And every time he's scoring, he's telling the crowd to shut up.
Oh, my goodness. And you got to make him foul you to get that offensive rebound, though, because if he's that agile, there's nothing wrong with his toe. But he's coming to the offensive board from behind the defender, getting an offensive rebound.
That's out of bounds. 5:15 to play in the second quarter. Rebounding in the game, +4 for the Los Angeles Lakers.
And look at this, Shaq is right in the lane because you can't call 3 seconds while the ball is out of bounds. Nice got it, another basket.
And Shaq again puts it in. He is putting on a show. O'Neal tonight with 23 points. And they go outside. Turkoglu with 3. He's 0 of 3. O'Neal with the rebound.
Well, not only is he 0 of 3, you don't see one Kings player trying to attack the offensive board in anticipation of a shot being made. They're totally conceding the defensive board to the Lakers.
Shaq into Divac. And that is a foul on Shaquille O'Neal, who picks up the 3rd of the game on him. That is a concern for Phil Jackson.
Well, Shaq right here, he just turns the elbow right in there, but I don't know how he turns any different than that. Good job by Divac drawing the contact, but right there, Divac trying to fight with Shaq. Good Shaq does a good job of sealing for anything over the top.
And Phil Jackson just picked up a technical foul. And so we'll walk to the other end for free throws.
Well, and I think what Phil is doing right there is just letting his player know that he's supporting him. Shaq resents the flopping. Vlade does a good job, but he doesn't have much of an alternative. When Shaq makes a turn on him, that's one of the best defensive maneuvers he can have, and particularly if he's playing behind you.
Lakers have only taken 2 free throw attempts tonight. The Kings have taken 12.
You know, it's about the only way you can draw a foul on Shaq is try to anticipate his move, get your head in the way of that elbow that's turning, that automatic turn of shoulder. I don't think Shaq is leading with his elbows. I mean, that's how every player does it, but he's so big and unstoppable that he sometimes gets called for fouls by doing that.
Well, he's making a natural turn, as you indicated, but he just needs more space for his natural turns than Kevin does.
But you know what? If you deliver a little bit of a blow a little bit harder, those guys won't be flopping too many more times. Like you elbow me the whole
listen
game.
to Danny. Can you believe he's
John, you're giving Danny a bunch of elbows tonight. I've noticed.
Well, I need more space for my natural turn.
All right, we just set the Laker lineup for you. Although Samaki Walker has just come in. And now for the Kings, Christie, Divac, Weber. Bibby is on the bench. Turkoglu and Jackson on the floor. Turkoglu out to Weber, picked up by Ori. Bobby Jackson, good fake, and Ori bit. Now the switch on defense. They got Fisher on him. There, a foul called on Derek Fisher. That's the second on him.
I tell you, we talk a lot about the Lakers offense because of Kobe and Shaq, but I tell you, they have very good help defense on defense. If you look right here, I mean, this is pressure in the basketball. Turkoglu goes to penetrate. A defender comes over and takes the lane away from him. Look at the other picture. Ori is on the other side. That's a little bit of what's got to happen down the other end for the Kings. These guys definitely take pride in their defense as well as the offensive end of the court.
Shaq, Danny, looks about as good and as spry as we've seen him.
Oh, he was ready tonight. He could sense that this was a big game. They could win this. They'll just take the heart right out of Sacramento. But one heart that will not be damaged is Bobby Jackson. He has been huge and throughout the playoffs, in this game and this series particularly.
Jackson with 11 points, all in this second quarter.
Well, and I'd like to see the Kings become more aggressive on the boards, both defensively and offensively. Defense doesn't stop until you get possession of the ball. They tend to stop after a shot and let the Lakers get offensive rebounds.
Weber the rebound on the Kobe Bryant miss. The Kings have hit 5 3-point shots. The Lakers have hit 1.
See, that's a perfect example. Ori did a great job of guarding Weber on that cut.
Here comes Fisher. Strikes it inside for Samaki Walker, who is fouled on the play as Fisher fires a laser beam underneath.
It looked as Samaki Walker was going to the basket right there, but it all started at this end of the court. He does a good job on Vlade. Vlade just a few too many dribbles. Fisher comes down and strips him and starts the fast break. And right here, it looks like Turkoglu gets pushed into him by Devin George right there, causing the foul.
That's the second personal foul on Turkoglu.
You know, you can use as a coach all the strategy you want to use, but at some point the energy level has to meet the challenge of the significance of this game. And I don't think the Kings players are doing that right now.
Christie with Bryant defending. Now Ori is on Weber. Ori was reaching in, trying to pick and probe the ball. And that's a second foul on Robert Ori.
Weber right here. Again, he's got all the advantage in the world that he wants with strength right down there. But Sacramento always sends cutters through. And a lot of times that allows congestion in the paint. Sometimes you got to space the floor a little bit more, honor those outside guys so he has more room.
Bibby is back in. Turkoglu, 0 of 3, is now on the bench as Weber fans on his first free throw. John, the disparity in free throws is amazing. 16 attempts at the line for the Kings. The Lakers with just 3.
Well, that's because the Kings aren't playing any defense at all, trying to help out. The Lakers are very aggressive in going after them, and they're doing a lot of reaching, but at least defensively they're making the effort.
Here come the Lakers shooting 51% from the field for the game.
And Weber misses 4 straight free throws. That could come into play. He could get inside the head of a player, making him shoot outside instead of attacking the basket.
Shot clock at 6. Fisher. Ori. Inside for Bryant, shot by Jackson. He now has 2 fouls.
And this is where Kobe loves to take over. When Shaq's on the bench in foul trouble, go to the low post, get Kobe, and he'll create shots for the role players of the Lakers.
There's Kobe Bryant at the free throw line. 44 minutes in game 1 with 30 points. John, the 3rd consecutive year he has made the NBA All-Defensive Team. Here we just sing his praises as he fans on his first free throw. We sing his praises on offense, but he is just as effective on defense.
So that's the thing that you have to respect him for. And I love the sense of urgency he gets in big ball games and at big times in ball games, both defensively and offensively. Remarkable, great player is not just how he fills the stat sheet, but when he fills the stat sheet.
Here come the Kings, shooting 46% from the floor tonight. Devons against Walker. Cross court, Jackson. George was there, a runner. Saved by Jackson. And a fresh 24 seconds on the shot clock.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds off the Lakers, 19 on the clock.
Timeout, Sacramento.
It's been a rugged game. The Kings have got to win or go back to L.A. down.
Gave Kobe Bryant a short rest at the start of the second quarter, but after Sacramento went on that 8-0 run, he put him back in the game. Moments ago during the past timeout, he asked him how he felt. He said he was feeling a little weak and tired. And Coach Phil Jackson said the big concern is how you're going to feel in the fourth quarter. So at halftime, they will have him reevaluated by trainer Gary Vitti and the doctors. Kevin?
All right, Craig, a missed shot and a rebound by the Lakers. Kobe Bryant has led the Lakers in playoff scoring 5 consecutive games. Those are scoring leaders right now.
What about Bobby Jackson and Mike Bibby? 21 points between them, the two guards. Bobby Jackson coming off the bench in only 10 minutes has 11 points.
Kings have led by as many as 7, Lakers by 5. Inside, Chris Webber, 2 shots at it. Here comes Fisher. 2 on 3. Kings back on defense. Fisher sliding inside. Devons has it. It goes out to Webber. Ahead to Bibby. Sliding by Samaki Walker in a foul.
Bibby did a very smart thing that time. He closed the space between Walker and Walker's ability to block the shot, so therefore Walker had no alternative. A lot of guys will try to avoid this big guy. Bibby just went up strong and went into him, which he had to foul.
Walker picked up his second personal foul. Upcoming is the 18th free throw attempt by the Kings tonight. Lakers have 5 from the strike.
You know, another thing, Danny, in watching Chris Webber take those jump shots, a lot of that you attribute to the good defense that the Lakers are playing, because that drive is really not there a lot of times because that help defense is back there. He almost is forced to take that shot. The dilemma is that he's got to make it.
Right, and you know, they run a lot of their offense in the pick and rolls, and that is the open spot. The roll is not open, and the slash is not open, and Chris is not great off of the dribble anyway, but he can dominate in the low post and has done a good job of getting them in foul trouble.
Well, the Lakers are really taking away the middle and forcing them to beat them outside.
Kobe Bryant gets his first basket of the second quarter.
Well, the Kings must be taking away the middle, too, because wasn't anybody near Kobe on that shot.
Bryant's got 11. Shaq is 23 on the bench.
But look at the defenders of the Lakers. All of them are right in the lane.
Mike Bibby with the miss. He has all 12 of his points in the second quarter. Vlade Divac kicking across the lane. And picked up by Robert Horry, who is in double figures in rebounding tonight. He's got 11. Here comes Fisher, beating the defense of Bibby. Down to 1:20 to play in the first half.
And Robert Horry's very patient. He's going to Kobe right here. He knows that's his role, but Robert Horry can take Vlade off the dribble too anytime he wants. And why they're going to Samaki Walker, Shaq isn't in the game. Why wouldn't you try to attack Robert Horry from the outside?
It's Turkoglu who finally gets his first field goal of the series. He's 1 of 4 tonight. Neither team with a foul to give either way. Kobe Bryant dancing inside, puts it outside. Fisher with the good fake. Kevin George open for 3. Webber with the rebound. The Kings are -3 in rebounding tonight.
Well, that's exactly what the Kings need. To force some misses, get some rebounds, get out and try to run to get this crowd stimulated.
Turkoglu trying to dive inside. Laker foul. Devin George was defending. Devin George picks up the foul.
Well, and looking at that, look at all the purple jerseys that are in the middle. You try to go in the middle. The Lakers are giving a lot of help. They're very aggressive on the boards. Now you look at just the other end, and you look at this. Kobe comes around, and there's not a white shirt even near him.
They have just switched the foul. They've given it to Derek Fisher, who now has 3 personal fouls on him. They initially called George. It was wiped away. It's on Derek Fisher with 3. Turkoglu with the line.
Big foul right there with 30 seconds to go. They still have Brian Shaw, who hasn't had a chance to play a lot. He's kind of their fourth quarter guy. So, and Lindsey Hunter, probably their best perimeter defender. But Fisher, definitely their most complete of the point guards.
And a leader.
He's tough. I love those tough guys.
Well, the beauty of a Brian Shaw, whether he's used or not used, when he comes in the ball game, he's ready to play. A lot of players will sit there and pout and not be ready, but Bill has done a great job of getting guys that are ready to play.
Tinkler gives Sacramento a 1-point lead. That is a well-earned smile on that face. He pointed right at himself. He said, I was the reason we lost game 1. He's trying to make amends in game 2. A difference of 3 seconds. Game clock, shot clock. Kobe Bryant trying to concoct something with a double team on him. Devin George climbing on the back of Divac. Devin George picks up the foul. That is number 1 on him.
Turkoglu, when he made his first basket, got a little smile, got a little momentum. Right here, the good things start happening. Got a little bit lucky. The ball came back right there, tripped over the defender's foot, and still made the shot. And when he made that first basket at the far end, Rick Fox was the one with the crowd, joined up and was giving him a sarcastic cheer on the Laker bench.
Fox is a pistol, isn't he? Huh? He's had a war of words in the paper leading up to this series with Sacramento.
He's got in the head of the Sacramento small forwards. You know, Stojakovic in the past. Matter of fact, Stojakovic, one reason why he might not come back quite as fast in this series might be because of Rick Fox.
Well, we've been chronicling the problems of Kobe Bryant tonight. Bad stomach, was up all last night, has been fed one bag after another of fluids to get his strength back. He has already said he feels woozy and weak. And now he faces the defensive clutches, Danny, of Doug Christie.
Well, he says he wants to be like Mike, and Mike had 48 when this happened, didn't it, against the Lakers, or the Jazz?
Against the Utah Jazz. They called the Bulls today, and it was in the first series in the 2 against the Utah Jazz. And Mike had the food poisoning and came out and played a whale of a game.
Well, and I agree with Chris Webber. When you play in a game, you don't have a chance to pay any attention to that stuff. Playing a Kobe the sick is like going to hunt a wounded lion. He's twice as dangerous because he'll compensate for how he feels by really putting forth even more energy.
Divac and Sacramento with a 1-point lead right now. 7.3 to play in the second quarter. No fouls to give either way. No full court pressure.
Now Robert Horry will try to frustrate Chris Webber. You can bet that he's got one technical foul on him. You don't think he wants to guard Chris Webber the whole night. He'll try to get him out of the game. Right here, Webber trying to guard Horry off the dribble.
Kobe Bryant guarded by Webber. And the Kings will take a 2-point lead to halftime. The emotions, John, and no surprise here, heating up as the game goes on.
Well, that's the thing that Chris has to be careful of because Danny's 100% right. Horry is a master of doing this, and they know that Chris Webber has a low fuse, and he gets himself involved in this. It's a different value in the need of that player.
Bobby Jackson again a spark, 11 points in 11 minutes. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, point a minute, man, again, Bobby Jackson. Why is it you're able to go in there and score when everybody else is struggling?
I don't know. I just got to keep being aggressive and, you know, making shots. And I got to give them what they're giving me shots. And so I just got to take them. And I've been working on my shots. So, you know, just got to come out and play my game and be relaxed and just make them work.
Chris Webber picked up 2 fouls, also had a technical, but yet you played him the whole second quarter. What did you guys tell him, or what did the coach say to him?
Just relax. I mean, we got to come out and play our game and can't worry about what the refs gonna call. Every call they make against, we see them go arguing at the refs. We just got to come out and play our game and not let the refs be a matter of fact in this game.
Feel confident?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, on Saturday morning we up 2, so we feel a little bit better than Saturday. But I mean, we just got to come out and play what we played the first half and continue to attack the basket.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's go back to Kevin.
Greg, thank you. Down 1 game to none. Bobby Jackson and the Kings are maturing before our eyes. They've never been this far, or at least as a team together, and not since 1981. Getting a taste of the conference finals against the defending champion Lakers. Our halftime is next.
Tired and weak, but for the first time today has been able to keep down some fluids orally. Had some Gatorade at halftime. The big concern is the IVs that he's taken today, the 4 of them. They use a 16-gauge needle to get the fluid in rapidly. That continues to bleed. From running up and down, his blood pressure has risen, and Gary Vitti had to put several more wraps on it at halftime. He said the big concern is that it keeps bleeding and he keeps feeling weak. Hopefully, however, he will have some stamina by the 4th quarter. Kevin?
So that's some kind of story.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you can't extend yourself too much. I've had these things happen before. I've had food poisoning and been sick and had to take IVs. And what you don't want to do in the first part of the game is extend yourself too much because you have a really hard time recovering up.
Well, the Jafal situation is unbelievable. 17 against the Lakers, 8 against the Kings.
Well, that's because of the aggressiveness of the Lakers defense. I think it's very difficult to ask any athlete that is competitive as Kobe is to pace himself. He doesn't understand that because he plays on instinct.
All right, for the Lakers, they got Fisher, Ori, O'Neal, and a long 3-point shot by Fisher. Rick Fox and Kobe Bryant, the 5 for Los Angeles. Christie, Divac, Bibby, Turkoglu with the ball, and Weber, the 5 to begin the second half for the Sacramento Kings. Weber's got 8. And Sacramento has a lead of 4.
Well, both teams a little bit lethargic just in their body language coming out there. Derek Fisher fires up a 3 without the ball even going inside the shack right off the get-go, and a little sloppy offense trying to get Turkoglu involved. Weber bails him out with a big jump shot.
Weber's playing Ori again out on the perimeter. The last game, Ori penetrated every time he got the basketball with Weber playing perimeter defense.
The defensive switch. Turkoglu could not stop the shot by Kobe Bryant, who's got 13 points in the game.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. I mean, you don't want to have to go to Shaq every time, but you dominate that inside. Those are 2 shots that I'm not sure that Phil Jackson wants coming out of the half.
Bibby slips into Fisher, leaning, and ball was partially to foul. And Kobe Bryant off to Fisher. Robert Horry has collected 12 rebounds. He gives now to Rick Fox, who's got 4 points in the game. O'Neal's got 23. A little outside. Weber has the rebound, his 7th of the game. Shaq had hit his last 7 shots until that miss, and here comes Chris Webber at the other end. And Chris Webber, John, is hit 2 in a row.
Well, and that shot is there for him. I mean, he's a good shooter. I don't have a lot of problem with him even taking that jump shot at that point, particularly how the Laker defense is sagged so much into the lane.
Into Shaq, over T-Box. Rebound by Chris Webber.
Well, Shaq kind of made a face the last time. He went up and missed the last shot, and he kind of made a face running back down the court. I don't know if he's struggling or didn't quite get loose coming out to start this second half. He was so impressive in the first half with his energy.
The Kings' fast break was a lot more sharp. It was much more sharper during the year than it is now. Several times they've come down and not had both lanes filled. Several times nobody's even come across half court.
Here come the Kings. They're shooting 43% for the game from the floor. Weber. Christie wide open for 3.
Looked over to Phil Jackson. He's just leaning back. He's not even watching the game. He's just looking away. These guys should know better. Again, we're coming into this game because the Lakers play to the level of the competition. Sacramento was the worst team, but they just felt control. They didn't play this quarter.
Fisher was on the way. Turkoglu was lunging in. He picks up his 3rd personal foul. Well, in key categories tonight in the first half for Sacramento, backcourt points, free throws made, hit, fast break points. You see 4 pluses up and down. Here's Fisher at the free throw line. We talk about the free throws made. Lakers tonight, 3 of 5. They've only taken 5 attempts. Sacramento Kings, 15 of 23. They've taken 23 attempts. Down 18 more than the Lakers.
Well, again, and I think that depends on how you play. If you shoot nothing but jump shots, you're not going to get fouled. you know, or if you're going into Shaq and he's getting single coverage and nobody's coming back to try to help. But a lot of it, you know, has to do with the fact that just the aggressiveness of the Lakers in opposition to the aggressiveness of the Kings.
I think the officials are giving the Kings the calls because they are the aggressors in this game so far, and the crowd is a factor and everything else.
I haven't seen the aggressiveness.
Here comes Weber. Working on Ori. Plucks him aside. And Kobe Bryant will race the other way. With the defense for the Kings staked out. O'Neal with a great pass to Rick Fox. Cutting off the wing, and Fox has got 6.
The Kings came back that time to help, or Shaq shows his ability and threw a good pass to the basket.
Kings 44% from the field so far. Bibby, no call on Fisher. Shot clock at 9. Here comes Weber. Turkoglu. Good fake. 3 in a row after beginning the game. 0 for 3.
Well, he's just been struggling with his shooting, but after he made that first one, you can see a little stored in his game.
Kobe Bryant dashing to the lane. It's O'Neal with the rebound. Hemmed in, held down, and foul.
And I think that was a pass. Kobe went over to Shaq, and I think he did. He kind of double clutched up there. He saw the Shaq under the basket and tried to get the pass off.
Divac just picked up his first foul.
Right here. Here comes the double team right there. What a beautiful pass by Shaq. Fox does a great job of reading Turkoglu coming over for the double and doesn't settle outside for the jump shot, but follows in for the easy lay-in.
The thing that is amazing is that we always talk about Shaq's advantage as far as his height is concerned, but very often he's beating the Kings to the floor for the ball, so his height is not necessarily an advantage.
And Robert Horry gets it with an offensive rebound. Here's Fisher back to Horry. Rebounding +1 now. 27-26 advantage on the glass for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, that's what they can't let happen. That's on the offensive end of the Lakers, too. Letting them shoot, miss, and get offensive rebounds. You're not going to beat them doing that.
Kobe Bryant is 6 of 15 shooting tonight from the floor.
Kobe got hit on the arm on that jump shot as well.
Kings have led by 7. Big Lakers with the rebound. Robert Horry inhales his 15th rebound tonight. Lakers have led by as many as 5.
It's 7 halfway through the third quarter.
Nice touch pass to Fox over the defending Turkoglu. O'Neal and stuffs it. And he rocks the rim and puts in 26 so far.
Jackson, he knows this team. He's got total control. We're sitting over here looking. This team needs a timeout. They're playing with no energy. It's almost like they're going to play harder and they're going to cruise. And whatever the challenge is, and so far, it hasn't burned them. San Antonio, they got away with it. The Sacramento team is a little bit better.
You know what is interesting, too, that Fox now is denying Turkoglu the ball. They recognize the fact that Turkoglu has hit a couple of shots, and not to let him get a good start, he tightened up his defense on him.
Bibby is 3 of 9, and Chris Webber cleans it up, puts it in. Webber's got 14 points. Foul goes on Robert Horry. He's got 3.
Well, no rebound right there. Webber pushes off a little bit to get the position right there. And I don't know what Horry can do. That's either no call or a foul on Webber because Horry didn't do anything to initiate contact right there. And Shaq does a good job right there, just going up for the rebound. Lottie's got his hands full trying to keep him off the glass.
Webber now 1 of 5 from the free throw line tonight. Kings up 64-58. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager, and our entire TNT crew with you tonight from Rockin' Arco in Sacramento. It's being held by Shaq. Foul goes on Doug Christie. That's the first on Doug Christie. Fouls in the game. A ton of players for the Lakers with 3. Fox, Horry, O'Neal, Fisher. And only 1 player for the Kings with 3. That's Hedo Turkoglu. Robert Horry. Kobe Bryant. It's Divac up to Bibby. Lakers bench. Webber at the other end. Webber had that ball in a yo-yo. Bibby held and fouled. Robert Horry was grabbing. Robert Horry picks up his 4th foul. He now has more fouls than any player in the game. And this crowd is alive.
are taking ill-advised shots. Kobe's getting double-teamed. They think that Kobe's going to come out of the locker room like he did last year with his huge games and take all the shots and try to take over the team after Shaq's big first half. But they're double-teaming him, trying to calm Kobe down. He's got to make the extra pass.
Well, you hear the crowd moan when Chris takes the shot from the outside. All the time, I don't think that's deserved because of how the defense is playing. He's got to take some of those shots, and they forget that Vlade's in the middle sometimes, too.
And that'll trickle in. Kobe Bryant has got 15 points. Kings out there with Bibby, Divac, Weber, Turkoglu, and Christie. And the Lakers have Samaki, Walker, and O'Neal on the front line with Kobe, Fox, and Fisher.
I was impressed with Weber's little defensive move right there.
Just
clamped Fisher's leg with his legs and tripped him up. And
call that the crab move.
That's right. Good job. Here comes Weber into Divac. And Vlade Divac has 11 points. 15 by Weber leads Sacramento, 26 by O'Neal.
They're getting good balance, that Sacramento team. And Weber, you know, it's not very many big guys that can make that kind of excellence off the dribble.
And it's Kobe Bryant suddenly facing a double team. He dribbles off his foot and ricochets out of bounds. That is the 10th Laker turnover, 9 against the Kings.
Lakers hustle for the ball, but look at Weber right there. He leg whips. Like that's a 15-yard penalty in the NFL. Good hustle right there. Good find by Fisher, keeping his poise under pressure right there. He was being blitzed. Made the perfect pass.
Kobe Bryant is out of the game. Devin George is in for the Lakers.
And I think the Kings have stepped up their defensive efforts a lot more. Probably Rick has gotten on them a lot because they seem to be helping as opposed to just playing individual flat man-to-man defense.
Divac over Shaquille O'Neal. Rebound by the very athletic Devin George.
Well, I get a kick out of what you said, Coach, because I think you're right. Rick has got him on. Why should he have to get on him? This is the
right.
playoffs.
You're 100% right. That's a mystery to me.
That game one was such an atrocious defensive effort. That should never happen.
And particularly with a team that had the best record in the NBA, you sense the moment right now, and the energy level has got to stay there.
Divac just picked up his second personal foul. 4:07 to play in the third quarter.
Critical last 4 minutes right here. The Lakers have to stay close, and Shaq's got to make sure he stays out of foul trouble, especially with Ori with 4.
Shaq's got 3. Lakers have missed their last 9 3-point shots. Lakers are 1 of 10. The Kings are 6 of 9 shooting threes tonight. Christie has offered 2 of them. Off to Weber for 2. O'Neal with the rebound. He now has 8 rebounds and 26 points.
Well, Fisher's really struggling in this series. Has not been hot the outside. Last year against San Antonio, 15 for 20 in that playoff series from the 3-point line. Has shown no signs of that yet.
Fisher against Bibby. Tapped up by George and ripped off the iron by Divac. Here comes Bibby finding a seam off to Weber.
Here comes Bibby with his no one on the right side of the floor. The Lakers defense gravitates towards the left side where the ball is. If somebody fills that right lane, he's going to be wide open for the Kings.
And that's the second shot this quarter. I don't know what Derek Fisher's doing, but Shaq doesn't even touch the ball. Kobe's out of the game right now, but Fisher playing one-on-one from the top of the key.
Here comes Fox to fake on Turkoglu. Lost it inside, picked up by Bibby. It's a 2-on-1. Bibby to Turkoglu. The Sacramento Kings have their biggest lead tonight.
We're not playing hard now. Too many seconds. This is the second set. Rounders was finished, okay? On the solo side.
Bells are out. Crowd is juiced. 2:50 to play. Yeah, he's got the earplugs in. There's Phil Jackson tonight.
That's a great move right there, those earplugs.
Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Phil Jackson could not communicate with his team because of all the noise, so he simply did it with visual aids. Put up a clipboard, wrote, "No triangle, where is it?" and "No teamwork." Those were the 2 messages he made visually to the team.
Here comes Shaq, who had 23 in the first half, was so dominant. He's got 5 in the third quarter and 28 for the game with 8 rebounds.
Well, anytime the Lakers get movement, that's one of the things they have been doing is standing.
John, that'll take you right out of your chair. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
And a nice move right there. Rick Adelman drawing up a beautiful play coming out of the timeout. A beautiful screen right there. They set a screen on Shaq, and he took it right to Samaki Walker at the rim.
He injected Vlade with some energy in his legs, too.
And Kobe Bryant puts up another clutch shot. He's got 17 for the game, and here come the Kings. They're shooting 43% from the field.
I started to say anytime the Lakers get some movement in their offense, they get better opportunities to get to the offensive boards. They also contest the defense of the Kings a lot more.
Weber, he's got 15, now he's got 17, and he earned every inch that he had to dig out inside.
Well, he earns it, and he's still debating with the officials. I agree with Bobby Jackson at halftime. They've got to stop talking to the officials and play. The Lakers have too much concentration.
Especially when you already got one technical foul. You can't even take that chance.
Here comes Shaq. The Lakers are shooting 45% from the floor.
Their help is coming back on Shaq. That wasn't happening earlier.
And Devin George hits just the second three-point shot of the game for Los Angeles.
And we see a lot more help, Coach, coming back with Robert Horry, Rick Fox, and Derek Fisher out of the game.
Absolutely.
Right now they have Devin George, Samaki Walker, and Lindsey Hunter. And Sacramento doesn't respect their outside game nearly as much.
Weber picked up by George. And Weber will try to exploit the airborne George. And a foul called on Devin. And he's got his second of the game. Boy, this Divac slam was something to watch. Wow.
Well, Vlade's trying to do anything he can to get the foul, but Shaq's just playing. He's not really bumping. He just a normal turn right there, but a good screen right there by Weber. Samaki way too late getting over on Vlade. I think Vlade did have some flashbacks right there.
Something happened.
Look at Weber try the reverse, then bite the dust.
And Weber seems so much more confident when he's being defended by Samaki Walker down on the post or anybody other than Robert Horry.
Samaki Walker's got 3 fouls.
We saw Weber do a great job defensively against Samaki right there. Just blows right by him all the way to the other side of the basket without any help.
Well, as you know, there's a vast difference in the ability of Walker to play defense and Horry. But Weber is interesting. I think Chris definitely plays the game extremely well, but he lets himself get distracted a little bit too much.
Yeah, what if the official would have forgot that Weber already had a tee? He might have teed him up. Mike Bibby got called for a tee for less than that.
Absolutely.
Right. I think the official knew, though. I give them more credit for that. They knew. Weber's guy, they didn't want to kick him out for that.
A big game like this, absolutely. Danny, you began this broadcast tonight by saying that the season was on the line for the Sacramento Kings down a game at home.
Absolutely. You know, there's no way they're going to come back from this game and beat the Lakers 4 out of 5 unless there's some sort of major injury if they don't win this game tonight.
Kobe Bryant flinching his way inside. It's Turkoglu. Bryant, 8 of 19. Turkoglu snaps it out to Vlade Divac. Sacramento's got their biggest lead tonight.
And Turkoglu feels a lot better also when Rick Fox isn't in the game.
Shaquille O'Neal and a charge. And it's on Shaq and O'Neal, John, with 4 personal fouls.
Well, it was a great play by Vlade. You know, Shaquille, anytime he makes any natural turn, he goes right, comes back left, and Vlade falls. I think that it could be called a foul, but it could not be called also. Vlade gets credit for that because that's an excellent play.
I would never call that foul, ever
I'm certain you wouldn't have.
Every time he falls down, I'd never call it.
Mark Madsen checks in. He's played only 5 minutes in the entire playoffs for the Lakers. Seconds remain. Bibby against Hunter and a foul on Lindsey Hunter. Basket will not count. Hunter picks up number 3. The Lakers have been called for 23 fouls and the Kings 12.
And that's a bad play right there. Lindsey Hunter is a high-energy player, and he's out there for the defensive purposes, but you got to respect the penalty. You cannot give guys 2 points 30 feet from the basket just by hounding them.
9 points Sacramento lead, biggest of the night for them. Bibby, 13 points, 6 of 7 shooting from the free throw line. Picked up by Madsen. Good if it goes. Ooh, it was just that close. Weber has got 18. Coming into tonight, the Los Angeles Lakers had the Sacramento Kings by the throat. But the Kings have come up defiant in Game 2. They lead by 9 as we go to the fourth.
And again, we talked about the aggressiveness of Sacramento, and I think that's what they're getting the benefit of the calls. And Chris Webber doing a little bit of everything in that third quarter, showing all his offensive arsenal, passing off the dribble, knocking down the outside jumpers over Robert Horry. They're conceding that outside shot in the whole series. He's been doing an excellent job, and he's even had a mixed up and low post game.
Well, and you look at the psychological attitude of the Lakers now. I think that the armor has been cracked a little bit mentally with this last stage of play from the Kings. But the Kings have got to withstand. You know one thing, the Lakers are going to make a run at them. The Kings have got to have enough courage to withstand that.
All right, here comes Sacramento beginning the fourth quarter. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager. Bobby Jackson flies. Oh, what a play by Bobby Jackson.
Talk about the little things that Pollard does. He's in the backcourt right there, sets a great screen. Bobby Jackson takes it all the way into the basket, going right around Samaki Walker.
Well, and you talked about the difference offensively, and that's an example defensively of what happens. You have Walker in the middle, who's less experienced than a Shaq, and Jackson goes right to the basket, although Jackson will go to the basket against anybody. This guy has an awful lot of courage.
Shaquille O'Neal is on the bench. Here comes Kobe Bryant. It's picked up by Pollard and a Sacramento foul. It was on Pollard. He picks up his second of the game. He just got off the Sacramento bench.
Well, Kobe does a good job. Christie forced him to put the ball on the floor. Pollard in perfect position right there. You can't see his Kobe shoots it right into Pollard's hand right there. I don't know what Pollard can do defensively any better than that.
Let's set the lineups now as we begin this fourth quarter. Lakers, Samaki Walker, Kobe Bryant, Robert Horry, Lindsey Hunter, and Devin George. Sacramento Kings with Weber, Pollard, Turkoglu, Jackson, and Christie, and that is the foul story so far. Keep your eye on O'Neal. Horry's got 4 as well for the Los Angeles Lakers.
The entire starting lineup there, the Lakers struggling.
The one thing you do know is you don't want Kobe to get the cure for that food poisoning right there, because he certainly is going to step his game up right now. The Kings ought to know that and be ready to gravitate towards him when he gets the ball.
Well, they've been double teaming him the whole game, so I have a hard time believing they're going to fall for it now.
Here's Kobe on the defensive end. Chris Webber with it, 18 points. Christie on top. He's got 11. Knocked away by Kobe Bryant. Right back to Doug Christie. Nice interception by Devin George.
That was just a great anticipation. I definitely think the Kings have stepped up their defense. When you put Pollard in, you put Jackson in the game. Turkoglu still can be aggressive, and also you have a guy in there like you have a guy in there like Christie who's very aggressive.
Out of bounds. Lakers have it. Kobe Bryant tonight, 19 points. Shaquille O'Neal, 28, and he's on the bench. 3, make it 4 of the 5 starters for the Kings in double figures, led by the 18 of Chris Webber.
This is the guy you got to guard. You know that he's going to give the teammates what's left over, but you are going to sure better play him.
Lindsey Hunter for 3. The Lakers tonight shooting threes are only 2 of 13.
The Kings go back to that, giving them offensive rebounds. You don't want to play a good possession defensively and then give them an easy offensive rebound.
Bryant dropped it inside to Samaki Walker. That is the 13th Los Angeles Laker turnover tonight.
And that's the second time Samaki Walker's had a dunk go into the basket. Hadn't been able to catch the ball. He's got to slow down. He's a little bit too hyper out there on the court. I think same thing with Lindsey Hunter. They just got to calm down a little bit.
Turkoglu, the fake in the drive, scooping it up, and picked up by Walker. Here come the Lakers, who have missed their last 4. Lindsey Hunter is shifting gears. Kobe Bryant up to Robert Horry. Better defense by the Kings. Kobe Bryant. And Bryant tonight, 8 of 20.
Right now, I'm impressed with Sacramento's defense. They're not being able to get those second shots, Coach, but at least they're battling. They're scrapping. They're rotating. They're not giving up any open looks. Everything is contested.
Well, you're absolutely correct, Danny. They definitely are more aggressive than they have been, but they still are giving up too many second shots.
Chris Webber with 18. Now he's got 20. He had 28 in game one. And here come the Lakers the other way. They're shooting 43%. Kobe Bryant had it knocked away. Turkoglu racing the other way. Into Lindsey Hunter on a charge. Turkoglu picks up his 4th personal foul.
Yeah, he's totally out of control, but I think a lot of that had to do with he lost control of the ball as well. But bad decision by Turkoglu. Jump stop at the free throw line. Be patient. You got guys coming in from all over from behind. Kobe's trying to force his offense too much right now. Makes a big difference when Shaq ain't out there on the court with him. But the role players have got to knock down shots. Lindsey Hunter's had a couple of open looks. He's got to knock it down.
Christie just picked up his 2nd personal foul.
Well, and you look at this, he's right on top of Kobe, and he's taking a punishment as a result of it. You know, last time he hit him with the elbow, now he's hitting him with the ball in his face. His nose is really taking a beating out there.
Well, he's got no movie career or TV career after this anyway, so.
Bryant trying to chisel his way inside. A Sacramento foul. Christie picks up his 3rd personal foul. So the Kings, who have led by as many as 11, lead by 9 with under 9 to play. Back out onto the floor is crucial.
Well, and that's why the Lakers are what they are, because they understand the time of the game. And you're going to see Kobe step up now. And as Danny said, he's definitely been extremely aggressive. You're going to see him now even become aggressive with Shaq in the game.
Go inside, and quickly he is heard from. He's got 30 points, 8 rebounds. Divot's taking a rest on the Sacramento bench. Pollard remains in there with Webber, Bibby, Jackson, and Christie. Here come the Kings, shooting 46% from the floor. Bobby Jackson off the bench. Danny, 15 points tonight.
Well, you see when Shaq's man sets the screen and roll, you can see what kind of quality of shots they can get off those high pick and rolls with Mike Bibby and Jackson. 2 very effective scorers in this game.
Brian Shaw's in the game. It moves from George into Shaq. And a foul on the Sacramento Kings again. It's Pollard for a 3rd time.
And that's 14 fouls right there. And we'll let Nick's penalty, or Nick's foul, they're in the penalty. But that's the toughest play for them to guard, Coach, right there. When they go right down from the top of the key, that high-low post feed.
And again, the thing that you were talking about Pollard laying on his back, he doesn't have to look for him. All he has to do is spin as he's getting ready to do now. And he's in a great position.
Nice offensive rebound by Devin George. Taking it out, putting it up. And a foul. In rebounding tonight, the Lakers are +7.
And one reason why they got that rebound right there, it was 2-on-1 because Shaq drew 2 guys to him on that shot. It was 2 versus 1 on the weak side. And that's one reason why they're having a tough time. Yeah, they stopped the shot, but the ball's got to bounce just right for the defensive board.
Webber picked up his 3rd personal foul.
And you got to love the aggressiveness. See, the Lakers right now don't believe they're going to lose this ball game because they're accustomed to pulling them out. What the Kings have to do is definitely keep their level of intensity and stop them from winning it. They can't just sit back now and feel that the Lakers are going to quit. That's ridiculous, really. That's absolutely ridiculous. Off of a free throw, you got 3-on-1, and Ori gets the ball.
And that's the 2nd offensive rebound off a missed free throw just because Chris is not taking it seriously enough.
Here comes Bryant, Ori, George, a 3-ball, and a rebound by Webber.
And a good box out that time on Webber on Shaq.
Look at the speed of Jackson. The taken by Steph Pollard.
And that's what Pollard does very well. He's one of the few players on the Kings team that will go to the offensive boards.
And I love that play right there. Continue to be aggressive. They'll take a Devin George post-up over Shaq post-up all day right there. But Bobby Jackson, he's not going to slow it down. Reminds you a little of Jason Kidd. You don't expect a fast break, but here comes Sacramento flying down the court.
Pollard with a screen for Bibby. Timeout Los Angeles.
Well, telling you, look at this. This is off of a free throw situation. He tips it, gets in there. You've got 3 guys on 1 guy, and Ori ends up getting out. Now you got Bobby Jackson, who is the real energizer for this Kings team. He challenges, he gets down quickly, and Pollard taps it in.
And he does a good job in the Dallas series of giving him a great deal of energy, and the crowd loves him here.
I was trying to figure out how he knew what kind of blood he had.
Here comes Shaq with the fadeaway. Lakers are shooting 34% in this second half. And that has been an issue. Sacramento, on the other hand, has watched their shooting increase and get better every quarter tonight.
Which is exact opposite of what they've been doing so far in the series. Usually their first quarter is their best, their second's their worst, and then they go downhill.
Scott Powell just picked up his 4th personal foul.
Well, one of the reasons that percentage increases is they're getting out now, and you got a guy like Pollard tapping in, you got a guy like Jackson going to the basket getting high percentage layup.
The Kings have taken many more free throws tonight than the Lakers have. Sacramento, look at this. Go ahead, like an 8-man lane violation.
Exactly right.
It's ridiculous.
That shows the level of intensity.
Yeah.
You'd rather see that than 8 guys standing back letting somebody go in the lane and they didn't move.
Well, so far the difference in this game and different in game 1 is Shaq and Kobe are getting theirs. And they're going to get about the same amount of points probably before it's said and done. But Fisher, Fox, and Ori way down. 38 points in game 1 and only 14 so far in this game.
Sacramento has taken 30 free throw attempts. The Lakers have taken 15. Mike Bibby. To the count, there was a foul on the play.
And Mike Bibby, another cold-blooded Sacramento King player.
Rick Fox just picked up his 4th personal foul for the Los Angeles Lakers and Phil Jackson.
And I like how they initiate the offense. You know, you don't, in the past, you saw Chris Webber catch the ball at the elbow or down on the low post or medium post almost every time in these types of situations. With guys working off cutter, double screens going on the weak side, and then Chris left alone playing one-on-one. Now with these 2 pick-and-roll guys, Jackson and Bibby, they've been awesome.
Well, and you look at Rick Fox frowning up, but in 4 personal fouls, he's probably committed 20. So he shouldn't feel bad. He's still ahead.
Here comes Shaquille O'Neal. Double teams, right that inside. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ball off of the Sacramento Kings.
Well, again, the team defense is there a lot better, as Danny indicated, depending on who's in the game. But they definitely are coming back on Shaquille and not giving him as much freedom as they gave him early in the game.
He bounces in with Webber, Bibby, Christie, Jackson. Oh, and a sweet kiss off the glass for Robert Horry, who's got 6.
And Robert Horry knows that, you know, the team isn't going very good offensively. He has not taken very many shots in this game. He's been non-existent. He hasn't had to, but now they need him.
Jackson just bounces off of O'Neal, and when he did that, he went airborne and he traveled. That's turnover number 12. Lakers out there with Robert Horry, Fox, Fisher, Shaw, and Shaquille O'Neal.
And the Lakers don't give up very many lay-ins in that situation, but they do give up that 15-foot jump shot. But still, you got to love Bobby Jackson's energy and courage. He's not quitting.
And Bobby's been getting through, so he thought he could continue to get through. He felt like he was on Stack's stomach the whole time that time.
Jackson pokes it away. Lakers are setting up for a 3. Lakers are 2 of 14 shooting 3-point shots. The Kings are 6 of 9.
And Derek Fisher has really struggled. 5 for 17 in this total series so far. Only 1 for 6 in tonight's game. He's been a non-factor. Matter of fact, he's even forced a couple of shots.
Shot clock at 7. Shaw to Shaq. Into Devons and Webber. Rebound by Webber. Quick trigger gets off to Mike Bibby. Bibby down the lane, rejected by Horry and picked up by Shaq.
Same thing, they see the little crack right there, but it's really not there. They got to stop and take that open shot.
Rick Fox over Christie.
Almost the exact same place where Ori got his shot. He flashed into the post, shot a fadeaway. One thing that's happening right now is that the Kings are penetrating a lot more than they did earlier in the game, and as a result of it, when the help comes, they're able to get somebody open if they can't get the layup.
Shaq jumped out on defense. Christie to Bibby. A free ball. Robert Horry gets his 18th rebound. That is a career playoff high.
There's absolutely no rebounding on the offensive boards when Pollard is not in the game for the Kings.
Shaq hustling his way inside. Shaquille O'Neal.
9 points. This is a big offensive possession. I thought right there Mike Bibby rushed that shot. They're trying to run the pick and rolls with Shaq's man. Shaq now picked up his defense a little bit, actually doing a better job against the pick and rolls. Maybe they get the ball into Chris Webber right now down on the block, or a two-man game with him.
Lakers on a 6-0 streak. It closed to within 9. They trailed moments ago by 15. Here comes Webber. He's got 20. Out to Bibby. He's got 17. Bobby Jackson's got 15. Rebound by Fisher.
And again, nobody goes to the offensive board. Scott Pollard is the only one of them that once the shot is taken. It's very difficult when everybody's standing, no moving, to attack the offensive board anyway.
It's out to Fisher for 3. Rebound through the hands of O'Neal and picked up by Bibby. We're approaching 4 minutes to play.
And Rick Adelman is encouraging him to run it. He doesn't want Mike Bibby to walk the ball off the court. He wants to continue to put pressure on this Laker defense. He knows how good they are in the half-court set.
It's Webber. Isolating against Horry. Rebound by O'Neal. That is double-double with his 32 points.
But thank goodness the Lakers aren't making those open threes right now, because Sacramento has kind of hit a cold freeze and kind of turning into what San Antonio did at the end of the game. They got to make some more baskets.
Marvelori off the Fox. Shot clock is down to 7. Fox counts the lane of a foul. Christie was there. Picks up his 4th.
But Vlade doesn't flop that time. Shaq's coming in, but 3 guys right there trying to hang all over Shaq. You got to make him make free throws anyway. You don't want to let him dunk the basketball.
Well, the interesting thing about it, I attempted to shake Shaq's hands before the game, and the enemy's left hand is on his right hand was sore. But you see how strong he's going through people. He's just an enormously strong person because he's got finger problems, so he can't really hold it as strong as he usually can, even with the strength that he has now.
Here comes Kobe Bryant back in the game. That's what he's done tonight. 19 points, 8 of 20, takes the place of Brian Shaw.
Well, it's an 8-point game right now. It could be down to 7, but I still like Sacramento winning this game because I think they got too many shooters, and they are getting some quality shots. They're just not going right now. Someone's got to break the ice.
But I tell you what, they definitely hear footsteps behind them right now because the Lakers ghost is coming.
Sacramento has missed 4 in a row. Now 5 straight misses. Here comes Kobe Bryant down court for Fox, looking for Shaq, smothered by Devos. Robert Horry. Rebound by Bobby Jackson. Approaching 3 minutes to play, and the Lakers trail by 7.
That's been the biggest difference right there. Horry, Fisher, Fox, Devin George have not been able to knock down the open 3-point shots.
Horry picks up another foul.
That's 5 on Horry. That could be a big one. They don't want to have him out of the game when they're trying to make a comeback, but it's not a penalty yet.
He's the only Laker with 5 fouls. The Los Angeles Lakers have the longest road playoff winning streak in NBA history. They've won 12 in a row, but right now they trail by 7. From the Continental Airlines Arena, Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, Craig Sager here. They're looking to inbound, and a whistle and a foul. Kobe Bryant was defending. Bryant is tagged with his 2nd foul of the game.
Well, that's really a cheap foul. Vlade does such a great job. You know, he flops so many times. I mean, he touched him and bumped him, but it didn't cause that kind of motion.
Here comes Bibby. Sacramento led by 15. Lakers on an 8-0 run right now. Mike Bibby for 3. Mike Bibby with a great shot.
Unbelievable. Matter of fact, that's one you could say right there, right between the eyes. Sweet.
He's got 7 in the quarter and 20 for the game. It's a Devos foul inside. He's got his 3rd. Trying to put the lasso on Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, the shot clock's running down. There's only 5 seconds left on the clock. He doesn't see anything happening. The pick's coming up. Great shot right there. Clutch performer. He's been doing it throughout the playoffs, and this is the element of their team that has really made them go up another level.
Well, the beautiful thing about Bibby is he goes unnoticed for a long time, and then he surfaces. He picks his times extremely well. Doesn't get too emotionally involved. I know he had a tech called on him earlier, but most of the time he stays focused with what he's doing.
Shaq's got 33. Weber with the rebound. Rebounding in the game. Lakers are +5.
And Jackson's got to be very careful now because he is so aggressive. He doesn't want to be passive, but he's got to pick his spots and can't be wild.
Weber into Divac. O'Neal slowing the defense, and the rebound by Robert Horry. Every possession urgent now. Rick Fox thought about 3, maneuvers for 2, dumps it into Shaq. Robert Horry cleans it up in a whistle on the Kings inside. Divac again was right in the fray, and his 4th personal foul.
Well, again, they're attacking the offensive board so aggressively. The downside for the Kings is that they're going to permit the Lakers to score with the clock stopped.
There are 2 players in the game with 5 fouls. Divac has 5. Robert Horry has 5. So those are the 2 names you need to keep track of with 2:08 to play in regulation. Robert Horry. First free throw tonight.
The 20 rebounds for Robert Horry. That's a monster of a night, and he made a couple of big shots. He's making a free throw right there. But again, he's been quiet. He had the advantage in game 1. Been very patient throughout this game offensively. But I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive to take advantage of that mismatch.
Robert Horry with 7. This will be the 21st free throw attempt by the Lakers. The Kings have attempted 30 free throws tonight. Little full court, John.
Well, Jackson is a hard guard for him because one thing that he's shown that he won't just bring it down court. He'll take it all the way through and look to score.
Kings are shooting 45% from the field. Christie, good fake. And a rebound by Vlade Divac. And a foul called.
I don't know what they're complaining about. Everybody's complaining. Vlade shoved Shaq right in the back.
Vlade never fouled a man in his life. You know that now, dude. He does, more importantly.
Well, Shaq's got perfect rebound position right there. And maybe Shaq gave Vlade a little bit of his own flopping medicine right there.
The scoreboard is wrong. The scoreboard has Divac fouling out. Our statistician, Pat McGrath, has counted 5, and that's what we're sticking with, 5 fouls. Divac remained the scoreboard with 6 on it right now. Wrong. Divac is in the game.
Yeah, he flopped on him. He had a great teacher, the guy that pushed it.
Divac the rebound. Divac tonight, 15 points, 14 rebounds for Vlade. Bobby Jackson's got 15, and here he comes.
Yeah, Sacramento can just get one more basket. They got 3 or 4 possessions left in this game, or free throws. I think that might be enough.
Weber's got 20. Bibby's got 20. Chris Webber. Kobe Bryant with a good-looking rebound. The Lakers are shooting 42% for the game. Good screen by Shaq. Kobe stripped to the ball. Picked up by Divac. A 2-on-1. Mike Bibby will slow it up and reload with 1:13 to play.
And a smart play. He's under control. Didn't get emotionally caught up in it. Took a look at it. Peeked at it and then pulled back out.
It's Weber. Spins Horry, and a foul called on Robert Horry. He tried to hold. He tried to contain. And Horry may be gone, and he is with 20 rebounds and 8 points.
A beautiful play by Chris Webber right there, making sure that there's enough spacing, there's enough room for him to maneuver around Robert Horry. Attacking the basket. He was only 2 for 7 from the free throw line. Good patience on the low post that time.
Webber at the stripe, only 2 of 7 tonight. Sacramento Kings have lost 6 of their last 7 games at home to the Lakers. Could see a reversal and a new face on this Western Conference Final Series.
And you know, I haven't been convinced that Sacramento has believed that they can overtake the Lakers. It's kind of like all the players on the PGA Tour trying to catch up with Tiger Woods. You know, they hope they can beat him, but do they really believe it? And this might be the first step, but I think they're going to have to go into L.A. and prove that they can do it on their home turf.
Well, regardless, they've still lost their home court advantage because the Lakers came here, won the first game, they have the split, This game, of course, is not over, but it's definitely, I agree with you, Danny, it's a question of believing and playing with the confidence and answering the runs of the Lakers.
Rebound by O'Neal, his 11th.
2 huge misses right there. Still a 2-possession ball game.
Devin George, Rick Fox, Jared Fisher, Shaquille O'Neal. Shot clock at 8. Fisher, good fake. Jackson falls. Fisher flies and picked up by Shaq. Held down and fouled with 42 seconds to play.
And that's a very good foul. I'm not so sure I wouldn't have fouled Shaq when he caught the ball on the block the first time to make sure that they don't double team him and give up an open 3. They have 3 guys hustling to see who can foul him first. It might take all 3 to keep him on the ground.
T-Box is gone. He just fouled out of the game. No fouls to give. Each team with 3 timeouts.
Vlade put in a good day's work today, I thought. He put in really a good day's work. But I think Bibby and Jackson definitely did a good job, a masterful job to turn this thing a little bit.
15 points and 14 rebounds by Vlade Divac. A crowd on the edge of their seat.
I thought Shaq has played a great game to this point. He has been dominant down there. The foul trouble right at the end of the 3rd quarter hurt him a little bit. Coming out, had to sit down the first part of the 4th quarter, and I thought that hurt the Lakers.
Well, certainly, and that helped to give the teams the confidence they needed. You said it earlier that how they played differently, even in terms of their help defense when Shaq was out of the game. That gave them the courage that they needed.
Shaq from the free throw line tonight, 4 of 10. 4 of 10. Five-point game, 39 seconds to play. Jackson trapped. Christie. No fouls to give either way. George is on Christie. Shot clock at 10. Big clock at 27. Down for Wayne Christie. And a charge on Doug Christie. That's the 5th on him. Timeout Los Angeles.
I don't know about that one.
Well, Doug Christie got shoved from behind as he came off the screen. They had a hand in his back, and he got nudged. We don't see it right there. Fox gets over in front of him, but Devin George shoved him right into Fox.
The Sacramento Kings trying to tie this best-of-7 series of 1. Well, Danny, inside that Laker huddle, what's going on?
Well, they have to score. You know, they don't need a 3. They can get it 2 if they get it quick. They want to score quick, and they're going to have to foul. Weber's the guy that I would try to foul. He's the one that's struggling. 2 for 9 from the free throw line at this stage of the game. But this is the time that Kobe usually gets the ball in his hands and makes something happen. Shaq going to the glass, because if Shaq catches, he'll just foul him.
Well, what Sacramento has to do, they want to be aggressive defensively, but you don't want to put them on the line stupidly. You got to switch on a lot and really cut down 3 points, because what the Lakers will try to do is to get a quick 2, penetrate or pitch it out to the other side. So you're going to have to really switch on a lot of stuff.
Here's Fisher into Shaquille O'Neal. Across the lane. Rebound by Christie. Held and fouled with 19 seconds to play in regulation.
Defense right there, forcing Shaq to shoot the long hook shot. If he makes that, no problem. But Shaq was afraid if he got the ball too deep, they'd foul him. So he tried to get the quick shot off to avoid being fouled and wrapped up by backing his man down.
Well, Danny, I think you came on the air tonight. You said this was the single biggest game in the history of this franchise.
It absolutely was, because if they lost tonight, it was over. Now, Game 3 is the biggest game in their history.
That's exactly right. It never ends, because
That's right, it doesn't.
actually what has happened, the Lakers have taken home court advantage away from them, because they came in here and got a split. Certainly they were capable of getting both of them.
Timeout. 19 seconds to play. Sacramento embraces these Kings.
Well, I can't imagine Red Auerbach dancing with the cheerleaders on the court.
You're terrible.
If indeed the Kings go on to do it, and that ball is batted around and out of bounds, 16 seconds left. A lot of demons, Danny, washed away tonight.
Yeah, they are washed away, but you know what? This is going into this series. I wasn't sure it was going to win this series. I thought Sacramento had a chance because they're vulnerable, but one thing I got to be encouraged if I'm the Lakers is Shaq is back.
Here's Kobe Bryant for three. Kobe Bryant.
Holy cow, this is a three-point game, and the way they're shooting free throws.
That's exactly right.
Weber looking to inbound, and he calls the timeout.
Well, Turkoglu wasn't making too much of an effort to come up to get that ball for those free throws.
12.5 seconds. A lot to discuss if you're Phil Jackson. You're only 3 points away, and let's go inside that Laker huddle, Danny.
Well, they got to foul right now. They got to try to do everything they can to deny the ball. If they can't deny the ball, they got to deny the best shooters the ball. Doug Christie, Mike Bibby. They don't want Bobby Jackson, one of the three guards, to get the ball. They want to try to get the ball into Turkoglu or Weber's hands if they are allowed to inbound it.
John, what about the Sacramento side?
Well, what's the most important person is the inbounder with Sacramento right now, because that guy's got to get the ball inbounds to somebody safely so that he can be fouled. If you throw the basketball away, you've really got a serious problem.
Sacramento has missed 14 free throw attempts tonight. Lakers have missed 10 themselves. It's been a horrible free throw shooting display.
Well, and right now, because the Lakers only have one timeout left to advance the ball, it's going to be tough. They need to get a stop here and hope for a couple free throws. If they get down by 4, that's going to be more difficult because it'll be 2 possessions with 12 seconds without a chance to move the ball forward on the second possession. Unless they can get a steal. You see Phil Jackson's coming out of the huddle. He's got all guards on the court. Small forward Rick Fox, Devin George.
And there's guys that can foul and not foul out.
And guys that can deny the inbounds pass as well. You have the quickness to keep guards from catching it.
Lakers with Fox, Bryant, Fisher, George, and Hunter. And the Kings with Christie, Turkoglu, Weber, Bibby, and Jackson. Christie to Weber, who's quickly fouled by Derek Fisher.
I'm not sure why you have your best free throw shooter taking the ball out of bounds and your worst free throw shooter tonight, 2 for 9, catching it. But Chris Weber is a much, much improved free throw shooter over the course of the year.
But he's 2 of 9 tonight. For the regular season, 75%. But Danny, in the playoffs, as you see, 67% free throw shooting for Weber. And he's got some big ones ahead of him right now with his girlfriend, Tyra Banks, praying. Those are about 17,000 other Kings fans.
Steps in and knocks down the big one. Right here, this is a bonus. You had to get that one for sure. Big shot by Chris Weber, overcoming the demons of a tough night on the free throw line. It's easy to make them when you've made 8 already, Coach. When you're 2 for 9 and you step up in this situation, it's tougher.
That hole gets a lot smaller then. You're exactly right.
Short. Fisher is down. Timeout signaled for by Los Angeles. Clock at 10 seconds even. So 20-second timeout. Lakers are out of timeouts. Kings have 2 left.
And you know, similar situation. Because you're out of timeouts, on the next possession, if you score 2 right here, you're hoping that the other team misses one of the free throws to get another chance. I think you got to look to try to get a 3 quickly here and then foul so you have a chance.
Well, they're only 3 of 17, John. The Lakers tonight shooting 3-point shots.
Well, the thing you have to be very careful of, too, is you foul the shooter when he's taking the shot. And you've seen that happen so frequently. A guy goes up, takes the shot, he makes it, and then he ends up fouling a guy. A few games ago, remember, Kenny Anderson did that.
That's right. For the Boston Celtics, George, Fox, Shaquille O'Neal, Fisher, and Bryant for the Los Angeles Lakers.
And again, the inbounder in this situation becomes extremely important because his judgment as well as his accuracy comes into play right here.
I'm giving the Lakers a 2. I'm not giving them any chance to get a 3.
Screen by O'Neal, a 3 by Fox. Caught by Jackson. and tackled inside the lane. 5.6 seconds left. Can they exhale, Danny?
I think so. I think this game is over. Lakers have no timeouts left. It's going to take them at least 4 or 5 seconds just to get a three-point shot down the court and up. Bobby Jackson can miss both these. If he makes one, or if the game's over. It's over already. That's Chick Hearn. Chick Hearn's over there. I guarantee you he's put it in the fridge. The Jello's jiggling.
Well, the last playoff road loss for the Los Angeles Lakers, June 16th, 2000, at Indiana in the finals.
12 in a row. I mean, that is
incredible.
Amazing. 12 road wins in a row in the playoffs.
That's not too shabby.
And Sacramento, hey, they've won 4 in a row on the road.
Here they go, Fisher. A three. That's it. The Kings have won. Let's go to Craig Sager.
One with Mike Bibby and Chris Webber. They're talking about this perhaps the biggest night in Sacramento Kings history. What does this win over the Lakers mean to you guys?
You know, we know that we can play with them. And, you know, we're going to take one game at a time. And, you know, we started better than we did last game. So, you know, we played hard all 48 minutes.
Playing with them is one thing. Beating them is another. What does this win do for you?
Well, it lets us know that we're as good as we think we are, and that if we keep playing, we'll always have a chance to win the game. So it feels good, and this is the biggest moment for our fans, but hopefully we can take them a little bit further.
When you picked up the 2 fouls in the first quarter, how did you have to adjust your game?
Well, I just went on the side, said a little prayer, and just kept, thought good thoughts. And, I didn't want to come back in and be too aggressive and let them flop and pick up charges, so I tried to get other people involved, and we're just fortunate to get a win.
You guys have been criticized a lot, particularly in the papers, for lack of defense. You come out with a 2-point lead and hold the Lakers to 17 points in the third quarter. Why was the defense so much better tonight?
We helped each other more. You know, I keep telling everybody, you know, we help each other. It's going to be hard to beat us. You know, we were rotating. You know, we were making Shaq get hard looks. You know, everybody played together.
You were guarding everybody, guards, even guarded Shaq at the end.
Yeah, well, I got to try to do it. I want to be a versatile player, and it's hard sometimes. Shaq a big man, but you got to have heart, and our team has a lot of heart, and we're fortunate to get the win.
Congratulations, guys. Let's go back to Kevin.
Shaquille O'Neal had 35, Kobe had 22, Webber 21, Bibby had 20. Those are the brackets for the East and the West. The series now in the West tied at 1 apiece. Post-game show is coming up with Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet, and Sir Charles here from the Rockin' Arco Arena. Our producer tonight, Mike Burks. Our director, Lonnie Dale. Special thanks to Rick Maldonado, Rembert Young, Pat Thornton, Dennis Stone, and Catherine Zawicki. And now for John Thompson and Danny Ainge and Craig Sager. Kevin Harlan saying so long from Sacramento, where the Kings have tied the series at 1.